Good afternoon, church. I want to start giving us a daily dose of encouragement, something to help us as we are reflecting on this time, as we're coming to God in prayer for this time, as we are journeying together through whatever each day brings. Obviously, a significant day in being the first day of lockdown for many. Either that means that you are at home, which brings perhaps its own difficulties and tensions. Perhaps you've been sent home from work and you're relying on government support. Or perhaps it means that you have had to redouble your efforts in your place of work, particularly if you're in the NHS. I've heard of physios now being potentially drafted in to cover other nursing duties as well. It's no doubt when you go to supermarkets, you see how hard people are working to enable us to get all the supplies and provisions that we need. And I know members of our church are involved in that as well. So many of us are working extremely hard. That's not to mention also the parents of young children. We've got 3 young kids. Some are in the house doing various activities, and I can recognise that that's a real drain on particularly mums probably at this time in our church family. So I wanted to bring a short word of encouragement this morning. As I was in my devotional time with God, I was drawn to Isaiah 40, comfort for the people of Israel, but it's particularly Isaiah 40 verses 28 to 31. It says this, and I think this is important for us. Do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the whole earth. He never becomes faint or weary. There is no limit to his understanding. He gives strength to the faint and strengthens the powerless. Youths may become faint and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who trust in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not become weary. They will walk and not faint. It's an amazing invitation to all who know God. The God who has been everlasting since eternity, and he goes on to be everlasting post whatever coronavirus brings. For he knows it, for he created the whole world, and there is nothing that is beyond his understanding. God is not absent. God is not caught out. He's not surprised. He is not panicking. There is no limit to his understanding. And he never becomes faint or weary. Our God is not affected by time. Things do not weary him out. Our prayers do not weary God out. And what's wonderfully releasing in this is we are not God. And it recognizes that we are not God. He gives strength to the faint and strengthens the powerless. God knows our limitations. We do tire. We do grow weary. Things can burden us and cause us to feel very powerless at times. That may be your experience today as you look ahead at how you're going to cope with whatever the next few weeks brings. But in knowing that we tire and in knowing that we are often weak, God brings this wonderful promise. The wonderful promise that those who trust in the Lord will renew their strength. You may have heard other translations, those that wait on the Lord, or those that hope on the Lord. What this passage is trying to convey is not a fatalistic just waiting around for God to do something. It's not just a vain hope of something that it may get better. It may pass. Things might not be as bad as possible. It's not a hope that we have no control in, but it's an active trust. It's better to be understood as looking to God with great confidence in his faithfulness. And it's an encouragement to us then to actively look to the Lord for our strength in this season. There are many ways we can do this, and I don't want to be prescriptive at all, but clearly is carving out time to actually spend with God. In the Word, we'd encourage in prayer, in worship, and now that can be really, really tough to do, particularly I'm thinking of those that are caring for children right now. But Nikki give a wonderful idea today is even the kids' devotions. You as an adult in taking your kids through a Bible study or taking them through a prayer or listening to a Renko Kids song or whatever, you can pick up some biblical truth there. You can gird yourself. You can strengthen yourself in the Lord at this time. This is not a time to be shrinking back and feeling defeated, because God is victorious. Jesus is victorious. We share in his victory ultimately. He has conquered death. And we too know that as we are hidden in Christ, as all those who believe in Christ will ultimately receive a new life in him. But for this life, we actively trust and we actively hope. And we know that in doing so, he will renew our strength. It's not our Netflix or our Amazon Primes or whatever screen that we're watching right now, which is going to provide us the ultimate rest that we need. But taking some time out of your schedule to spend with God and to look to him will be a great strength, a great source of strength for you in this time. So I'd really encourage you to make a plan to do that, make a plan with your kids to do that. And then just imagine this image of soaring on wings like eagles. That's quite an image, considering most of us are locked down in our homes. But just imagine what it is to be soaring, to have no limits, to run and not become weary, to enjoy God, to be free in his presence, and to be caught up in what God is doing in this world is just amazing. It's an amazing privilege for all of us. Just as I close, to go back again to verse 28, do you not know, have you not heard? Let's remember there are many in this city that don't know, that are struggling to strengthen themselves or find hope and peace at this difficult time. They haven't heard. They may have some understanding of Christianity from schooling or from when they were a little child, but by and large, the city doesn't know the source of strength that comes from our everlasting God. So continue to reach out to your neighbours, continue to reach out to those vulnerable that you can help and you can serve. I was in a prayer meeting just a little while ago and heard of great reception from the Dear Neighbour cards that we've been sending out. So let's remember we have this treasure of the gospel within us. We have this message which is power to see many come to know him, but to see many strengthened in him. Great. Well, that's it for today. I hope that helps you in your prayer. I hope to see some of you at the prayer meeting tonight, 8 p.m. It's going to be live streamed on YouTube, but for church members, we're going to have a Zoom conference so that we can engage with the praise and worship as we're going along. Great. Well, I hope to see you guys soon. Take care. Bye.